Yeah, I was just talking there, and I was like, "Holy cow, what just happened?"
You should be able to rejoin. Okay, hard cut coming. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. If you stayed online, some of you I know are still online right there. We had some kind of an internet issue. It's was nothing to do with our streaming stuff, so we kind of got things back up and going there. I apologize for that. We did have some storms over the weekend. It took out about 10 or 15,000 people's power. They've been working diligently to get those people back on power, and I think some of that affected maybe the internet. We're going to try to stay live for the next 10, 12 minutes here to get Justin to kind of finish up and recap this. This has been good so far. Hope you've enjoyed this about the CARES Act and really what we need to be doing right now. And let's kind of bring Justin back in to the conversation, and we'll get things going back again. Justin, sorry about that. We got cut off right there.
Back.
We're back.
No, so we were talking about loan forgiveness when I watched my phrase go, it kind of froze there on the screen in front of me. So I knew something was up. I thought I broke my camera over here again. Did you ever tell you guys that Orc and Pest Control tried to get a picture from me so they could use it for pest relief? It's pretty amazing. That's a joke. Okay, here we go.
Man. Here we go.
Okay, let's continue here. Let's go back to the financial. We're so much better there. Okay, so the loan forgiveness issue, guys, is what we're looking toward. If we're eligible for this 2.5 times our payroll, one of the things you have to keep in mind is that the loan forgiveness starts the day you receive the money. So we were talking about the fact that if practices are closed for another 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, you may capital M, may want to delay applying for the loan another 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. That way, whenever you get the money and you start paying your team, you can get forgiveness. The other side of that is I've had people say, well, Justin, the money may not be there. There's not enough money to go around. Let me go ahead and apply, and I'll just deal with whatever I can forgive, but let me get the cash. If that's the case, you have to remember that that's if you're not going to use it during those 8 weeks following the receipt of that money, it will be a 10-year maximum of a 10-year loan at roughly about 4% interest rate. Now, there's no personal guarantees or any of that other jazz on this loan, but nonetheless, it makes sense to be able to use that. So, guys, the biggest thing I'm going to tell you on the 7A is you go through your bank to get the money. That's where you're going to go. And a lot of the banks are getting guidance every single day. Some banks are saying, well, yeah, we're not ready for this. Others say, yeah, send us all the stuff. Let's go. I think you're going to have to speak to your banker and come up with a decision that best fits your particular situation at this point. So I think that kind of recaps. I know we were going pretty fast and we lost some things there. So I'm sure that you guys have questions on kind of what the guidance we've been giving our clients.
I've got a little question here. So the one thing I guess really what we're doing is dentistry is kind of specifically limited right now because we've been mandated by certain governing. It's different for each state. We've been basically shut down for 4 weeks. And so what we're trying to do is lengthen, or not lengthen, but we're trying to lengthen our funds, right? Spread that out by using cash on hand, line of credits, things like that, low interest things. And then hopefully once we get approval and get this process done and these things get funded, which I'm hearing, maybe end of April, 1st of May. It's hard to say. I mean, who would know? I mean, we don't know.
I would think, Wes, I would think that you're going to be lucky if you get it before June.
So what you're saying is we're going to have to make this stuff really what we have on hand last for about 8 to 10 weeks in some situations.
Cool. Yeah, I'm not trying to be an alarmist, but let's put the time frame on here, okay? It's April 1st in 2 days, right? April 13th, 14th, 15th is about it's about when the SBA has to have it positioned according to the bill. Now, it may be before then, it may be after then. I've had some bankers say they think that the SBA is going to allow them to rubber stamp, so to speak, do their own underwriting, rubber stamp it, then put the money directly into your account right away. I've had some people in some very big banks come in and say, Justin, we don't have the guidance for that at this point. Now the SBA may do that. I go back to one of the things I was saying is that there's only 3,300 SBA officers at this point. To try to push out $350 billion in money whenever we need it most, they're going to have to change some guidance. But as of today, the guidance isn't there on what they're going to do. So I think that guys, you've heard me say this, I'm a plan for the worst, hope for the best. And because of that attitude, so many of our clients are now sitting back, pressure washing driveways and not being stressed at this point. Okay.
Yeah.
So we want to plan for the worst. So if you're looking at this from a worst case scenario, I'm saying that you're probably going to be middle of May before you get any reprieve outside maybe the $10,000 grant that we talked about through the 3B section. So you may be in the middle of May. So if you lay off your employees, if you forbear or move all of your debts back, and now we just have our basic lifestyle expenses, most dentists that we're working with have enough dry powder, have enough cash in the bank to be able to get through this particular time frame. But even then, guys, your banks are not going to let you go under. You have too much invested with them. They are probably going to come even in addition to the 7A and give you a little bit more cash, a little bit more money here to help us get through this time period. So I wouldn't look to the government is what I'm saying. These loans as the salvation that's going to be here tomorrow.
Well, that's exactly what we've done, right? John, you and I talked early on last week when all this started, 5:30 last Monday, we're on the phone and strategizing. The ADA sent out the thing, and immediately we were like, okay, game plan, call the banks tomorrow, call the landlords, get access to our line of credits, and it was no problem. Now, the problem I see, John, and a lot of listeners maybe aren't in this boat, but I'm just seeing so many uncertain questions, like questions that we've answered right here, Justin. Like, how important is it to find the right person, the right banker, the right advisor? I mean, like, it takes more than just what John and I could say, even in just a short 30-minute show or something like that. We're not qualified. Right. Like, who's qualified, Justin?
You know, what's interesting, I'll answer that question. What's interesting, guys, is I've had a litany of entrepreneur doctors, dentists call us over the last 2 weeks. Hey, guys, they're like, hey, Justin, help us. I mean, you got to think about it from a logical perspective here. I know that we're in panic mode, many of us, but we know our clients so well that we know their financial positions almost from memory at this point, the ones that we work with. We know we've been preparing them for this type. We didn't know this was going to happen by no means, friends, but we've been preparing them and building their cash positions, their flows, their net worth, et cetera. We've had some clients join us in the last 2 or 3 years that we've been trying to push them to this point, but you know, at this particular point, we're all dealing with what we're dealing with. As I made a statement last time, we're all going to get through this. We will. We're going to get through this. Yeah. Some of us are going to be walking. Some of us are going to be crawling. Some of us are not going to run out of this. We're all going to come out of this thing almost like a football game with bumps and bruises on us. It's going to happen, but we're going to get through it nonetheless. Wes, to your point, man, if I look at the team and I look at, you have to have almost like a 3-legged milk stool. You and I've talked about this before. I think you have to have a good CPA, a good, well-versed tax-preparing CPA, someone who's forward-thinking, not just a compliance CPA. You have to. You have to have a really good attorney on your team. I call them our police officers. They're there to keep us out of trouble, okay? And then you got to have a good coach. We call them the CFP or the business advisor, who's looking holistically at your personal life and your business life and bringing those two things together. Now, at this point, you know, we're in the middle of the storm. You know, so many people are feeling hopeless right now. We're feeling hopeless. And I want to encourage you to say, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. This isn't the first pandemic we've ever faced in our country. It's not. And we still have a God who's on the throne. He's going to take care of us. Okay. This too shall pass. But once we're through this, once you're out of the survival mode, more than ever, you're realizing at this point the urgency to have a team of experts around you who holistically can make sure that you're prepared properly going forward. Friends, the coronavirus is one thing. Imagine if you're reaching your age 50, 60, and you want to retire because of some backache that you've been bending over people and you haven't prepared. That's the same feeling that you have right now is what I have to deal with people in their 50s and 60s who have an injury in place. They can't bend over the patient any longer, and they've been too busy buying nice, shiny objects for years because they haven't been listening to a plan. So I'm not here to try to throw things at you. I'm here to say, this is a wake-up call. And John, the other day in a conversation, I think on our last one, you made the comment, you said this will define us. You know, getting knocked down, as Mike Tyson often says, not the hardest part of it, it's getting back up. And those of you who get back up after this particular event, let me challenge you to build a rock star team around you, a rock star group of advisors that, just like Wes, you and John have, whenever life hits you, good or bad, that you can rally that team and they can come to your aid and help you make wise decisions during the storm. So, buddy, I think you have to find those people that you mesh with, that you like, that you trust. Reagan said, trust but verified. I think you have to have that team. And, you know, guys, I've said this to both of you. I say this to almost every one of our practicing.
All right, John, you got this?
Yeah, it looks like maybe we lost Justin's feed. You know, and I think it's the love, it's the power. Everybody's on the internet right now, right? You know, they're all trying to figure out what's going on with the current situation.
We got,
so I'm
we
not
got
surprised.
fiber optic feeds going into this thing. So, I mean, like,
yeah,
crazy.
We know it's not that. Everybody's on gigabit here. So I think it's got to be just the glut of what's going on out there. You know, I think that you know, a couple of other resources that, you know, are out there that I've found, you know, are good with this. One is the ADA has put together some real strong advisors as well that have put together some kind of white papers and some guides to navigate this. One is through Collier Advisors, I think, worked with them, and the other through Kane Waters, accounting firm. We've gotten some guidance from some of our local advisors as well, regional advisors. And this is helping to navigate. The thing you have to be careful with here, I think, is what, like we've said a couple times before, is just simply relying on what other people are doing. It is good to ask people what they're doing, but it's also important to be sure that you're following that. I mean, if you would have just read through all of the recommendations over the last week, like Justin said, it's changed 2 or 3 times, maybe 10 times, what it was available. Because, we talked last time, Wes, I mean, Mahan was saying, because Mnuchin said, hey, we're going to have this money ready within a week or two. And that was for the 7A. And now what we're hearing is, here we are, another week goes by, and it's like, well, maybe this isn't going to be ready until mid-May. Well, and now you start to think, okay, at what point do you actually apply for the loan? And then if you apply for it, does that mean the money comes right away? Or can you apply and say, hey, I want to wait to actually get the money until the day we get back in business? And, those are all questions we don't really know the answer to. And my understanding is you got to bring everybody back to get full forgiveness. Are we be able, to get everybody back and get full forgiveness when we're trying to ramp up our practices when we come back? So I think there's a lot of things that are unknowns with this, but as Justin said, you got to have a good team of advisors. If you have that, you have people you can rely on, then they're going to help you navigate through this. And Wes, I mean, for me, the more we can get, the better. I think that's what we're going to be continuing to try to bring you here through the show, bringing people.
Yeah, there's going to be updates throughout
of it.
Yeah, we're going to have updates throughout the week, and you can stay tuned right here. Watch us on our Facebook feed, and YouTube is channeled there as well. I think that's real important to kind of really is to try to drink in some of this stuff, like, and understand it. Take a piece of paper is what I've done. Like, literally, I'm a visual person. You're a dentist, right? I mean, like, if you're a visual person like I am, it's all about kind of just drawing some boxes on a piece of paper, John, and just start kind of saying, okay, here's my payroll, right? Here's my loans. Here's what the 7A is going to do, and here's what this one's going to do, and then start kind of connecting dots. I really think that helps. Like, it helps a visual learner, which is what most dentists are, is to kind of put some tangible things right in front of you so that you can kind of start to map out some of this. And I think really you need to go out and find somebody. And if you're listening to this now and you haven't talked to anybody, I talked to somebody today, John, and they haven't talked to an expert yet. And I'm like, man, you need to go talk to somebody immediately to get some good advice. I'm not the advice, right? I'm just bringing you the people that may be able to help you and maybe answer some questions to let you start forming those boxes on that piece of paper, right?
Yeah. And we'll be back later this week with more of these same types of podcasts. I
think we've got Justin back on the line here, and what I'll do is
cool.
I'll give him the last word, and then we'll cut it out.
Yeah, sounds good.
The last word is technology is fun, but it's frustrating at times. But I was able to capture some really good screen photos of John in a really nice format here. It's like, and Wes in a position here. I've got 2 good screenshots. So if you like the Dental Guys podcast, I'll end up sharing these out through Justin Goodbread's channel.
Perfect.
Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. This too shall pass. Keep your head up. Be positive. This too shall pass. That's the biggest message I want to get, okay? What we said today, who knows what they're going to do tomorrow. Let's just keep staying on top of it, but this too shall pass.
Absolutely. Well, if you've enjoyed what we brought to you today, let us know. Like, share, subscribe, as we always say. Give us your comments in the show. From Facebook is a great place to put those, so we'll see those. We can get those to Justin, potentially even to maybe get some short answers on some things. And also, too, check out Justin at Heritage Business Advisors, as well as financiallysimple.com for more information. If you haven't already done it, go to Apple Podcasts. If you would give us a 5-star review, let us know you enjoy what we're bringing to you. We'll be in contact with you later this week with some more good information, so keep tuning in. For Wes, for Justin, and for me, John, we are the Dental Guys.